Welcome back to Rex Reacts. I'm joined by Carlo today. We're going to be reacting to the fall of Pirate Software.
The end is here.
Yeah, that guy. A few of you may have seen him before. I only really know him from the Blizzard memes, like where he's like, I used to work for Blizzard. That's kind of not Lizard.
And I don't know him at all.
Yeah, I'm seeing him on those memes. I think that's about it though. So let's just roll it and see what this guy's getting cancelled for.
Pirate software is what happens when you give someone with a massive ego a microphone and an audience. Not only
Oh, so he's like you.
I'll take that. Oh, we had two different thoughts, sir. My ego's not even, I mean, it's not great, but it's not that big, I don't think. Is it?
Not only does he have some of the worst takes the online gaming community has ever seen.
Oh, no, this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit.
I'm sure this guy said he went through like a second puberty. That's why his voice is so low.
A second what?
It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
He also seems deathly allergic to taking accountability.
This wants me to...
This guy is you!
Even Dr. K, a professional psychiatrist, failed to make him realize his own arrogance.
I think sometimes the things that I talk about
that's
in
quite
regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance.
It actually is.
When in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase. This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro. Like,
Yeah,
tell me
that
I'm
is
wrong.
pure
I
arrogance.
don't see it that way, but all right.
And the moment
Oh,
the
dear.
internet saw his true colors, it was all downhill from there. Even then, the one thing he still had going for him was his technical prowess as an expert game developer and an elite hacker.
It was a lot. So after that, I ended up going to work for the United States Department of Energy because I'm a hacker, offensive security guy, and I hacked power plants for the federal.
Wait, you said you used to work in ethical hacking, mate?
I did.
Is this guy like your
Back in the
brother or
day.
something?
No. I mean, he's claiming he's worked for the federal government. I just used to do just did a course and did some odd bits and pieces for companies. A little bit different. Nothing like...
Yeah, that's
nothing
what
even
an actual
remotely
hacker would say.
exciting. No, I think an actual hacker would probably just hack stuff.
Yeah, like your channel.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, literally. Maybe this guy did it.
Federal government. And then I quit, and now I make video games on the internet. I've been doing this
You
for a
don't
couple
quit
of years.
working for the
Well, as
government.
it
though.
turned
Wait, what?
I don't think you quit working for the government. I don't think that's really an option.
Much of what he claimed might have either been a flat-out lie or, at best, an over-the-top exaggeration.
When Pirate Software told everyone that he worked on video games for 20 years, that he worked as a hacker,
20
why
years?
did
Isn't he
anyone
my
believe
age?
him when this
How
was
old
what
is
he
this
was
guy?
putting out? Why did
How
it
old is
take
he?
this long for people to call
I
him out
don't
for
know.
being a
Let's
fraud
Google it
when
quickly. Hang on.
this is his
Pause. Claims he's been making games for 20 years. How old is Pirate Software? He's 38 years old. So he's been making games since he was 18 exactly, apparently. Doesn't it take years to learn how to code all this stuff?
his magnum opus that took him 8 years. 8 years
This
of
game took him
perfecting
8
your
years.
craft for something a middle schooler could make.
Huh?
This isn't the work of a professional. This isn't even the work of an amateur. It's
It's no
pathetic.
Flappy Bird.
Hi, I'm the Internet
They used to
Anarchist. I
make
create
Flappy
weekly
Bird
YouTube
2.0.
documentaries, and today we're revisiting the man who's currently going through one of the most spectacular
Famous
downfalls
self-plug.
in YouTube history, Pirate Software. How everything is built over the years is unraveling right in front of his eyes, and it's only getting worse with each passing day. Since, while being
Oh, no.
supremely arrogant is bad enough, Pirate Software might even get in legal trouble for defrauding his audience. Now, I've already made a video going
he's
over the
the
major
KK.
controversy that initiated his
no.
downfall, but if you haven't watched that video yet or need a refresher, here's a quick recap to get you up to speed. Pirate Software, aka Jason Thor Hall, is an ex-Blizzard employee
He looks
who,
like a
after
liberal
allegedly
lesbian.
working for the US government as a hacker for a bit, decided to develop his own video game in 2017
Yeah,
called
I'm happy with
Heartbound.
those, yeah.
He also started streaming his game progress on Twitch and uploading clips from those streams on YouTube Shorts. These
What do I
shorts
know
blew
about
up big
Heartbound?
time, allowing him to gain millions
What
of new
game is
subscribers on YouTube, over 80,000
Oh,
paid
subs.
subs on Twitch, and even break the
Wow.
Twitch hype train record 4 different times.
Damn.
But then 2025 rolled around,
It
and
is.
Thor managed to destroy the goodwill the internet once had for him.
sad
First, by
face.
causing his friends to lose months of
Nice.
progress in a hardcore World of Warcraft game and refusing to take accountability,
This wants me to sit down, grovel on my knees, and be like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage.
And then, by taking a stance against the
Why do
Stop
people
Killing
take
Games
this shit so
initiative,
seriously?
which would stop game
I have no
publishers
idea.
from killing games people had already paid for.
Oh, now this is actually really dumb. It's used car
Language.
salesman garbage. This is shit.
Language.
It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
He misunderstood the whole movement on a fundamental level,
Standard.
and then used some of the harshest language he's ever used to speak up against it.
That is a horrible goddamn direction. That's awful, dude. No, eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive
So
was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours.
he
This shit
misunderstood
sucks.
this, is what they're
That's
saying.
a really stupid.
So he's
ass
going
move.
this ham on something that he didn't understand. That's next level genius.
That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass. This is complete
Yeah, you said
garbage.
that a few times.
All of this can eat shit then. I dropped the mask entirely. I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire ass. The whole
Your
thing.
entire
His
ass.
viewers were shocked at him blatantly rejecting something they
you may
thought
say
was
his
good.
whole
Thor, on
ass.
the other hand, continued posting more videos, doubling down on his take. But then, some of the biggest creators on the platform, like
Oh,
Charlie,
no.
Jacksepticeye, and
Oh,
PewDiePie,
no.
voiced their support for
Oh,
the initiative.
no.
This only made Thor look worse by comparison, making the whole internet,
That
including his
joke Reddit.
audience, turn against him. Now, Thor had a chance to retain some of the trust his viewers
Oh,
What is
good.
this AI?
said it's
What is
brilliant.
this?
I don't know, but this channel's good. We should do more of their stuff.
was
I'm a
had in
fan
him,
so far.
despite the overwhelming amount of backlash he was receiving.
That
All
face.
he had to do was admit that he was wrong. But not only did he not do that, he stuck to his guns, regardless of how wrong he was. He was caught lying about his games getting
no.
review bombed because of the controversy, making him look even more pathetic than he already did.
Oh, no.
Now, at the end of my last video, I posed two possible futures for Thor. He could either admit that he was wrong and turn things around, or stay stubborn and turn into the perpetual lolcow of the
Sorry, his
internet.
name's
And from
Thor?
the looks of it, he's chosen the second option.
Is his real name Thor? I need to Google this guy.
There's no way.
Jason Thor Hall. Thor is his name. I mean, if you had a choice between called Jason or Thor, I would choose Thor. Unless I look more like Black Widow, like he does.
Yeah.
Option, which has not only earned him more hate, but has prompted people to take a deeper look into his life, starting with his reputation as a master coder. And what they found was shocking to say
here
the
we go.
least. It started when a YouTuber named Coding Jesus, whose main content is him dissecting people's code and pointing out issues,
I like
decided
it.
to
He looks
review
like
the
Jesus
code for
too.
Heartbound in a video titled, "I reviewed Pirate Software's code, oh boy." And as you might be able to judge from the title, he didn't really have any good things to say about it, with him even going as far as to declare
Okay.
Thor's code to be worse than most entry-level interns.
Oh,
Imagine removing all these comments.
Oh,
Would
no.
you, as a newly added game developer to his game project, have any idea that one is Shelly? You would have no idea. This would never ever be allowed in a production repository, and like I've been hinting, it's below what you'd expect of a bottom tier intern.
Thor, however, didn't
no.
appreciate the
Oh,
constructive
right.
criticism and handled this review in the only way he knows how to.
Brutal.
Just another like YouTube grifter trying to fight for relevance, dude. That's
YouTube
all that shit is.
grifter. No.
Can you
All too
imagine?
common.
Because
However-
for those who don't know, obviously, you do a movie review channel as well.
Yeah.
Or like a review channel. But like, can you imagine if you reviewed a movie and they came back like, it's just some hack that doesn't know what he's talking about? Like, bro, like, it's our job to just talk crap. Like, that's what we do, right? Like, why are you so mad about this? I
There
just
was
don't get
something
it.
Thor said that was uncharacteristically reasonable for him and actually made some sense.
It's just a bunch of disingenuous arguments put up in bad faith trying to make me look like a bad programmer. And in reality, this guy has never used the engine that I'm working in, never used the language that I'm working with, and all of his points are moot as a result.
From an objective point of view, his reasoning here for why
Yeah,
Coding
that
Jesus
kinda makes
wasn't
sense.
able to understand his coding style because he's not a game developer seemed sound. That was until another YouTuber, Quinn Theo, decided to get Coding Jesus on a call and dissect Thor's arguments
no.
together. They began by analyzing Thor's comments about Coding Jesus' very first critique, with Coding Jesus
Yeah, the
explaining how Thor
common
doesn't
enemy.
use a very basic practice in his code that even school-level
They're about to go
coders
in
know
on
how
him.
to use.
Manually setting all
They're
to
gonna-
0
yeah.
gate lines, those were set to 0 because it was ending the alarms. By setting them to 0, you're actually setting the alarm to off.
So what he's doing here is a classic example of deflection. He pretends the chatter asked, why do you set the alarms to 0, instead of the question, which was, why don't you iterate over them in a for loop? A for loop is a very basic coding construct. If you're iterating through a consecutive set of numbers, you definitely want to use that. It's the perfect scenario for a for loop.
While also pointing out how he
I love
deflects
how
from
this
the real
guy
question
doubled
whenever he doesn't.
down and got like an actual game coder to be like, hey man, can you just agree with what I'm saying or like tell me if I'm wrong here?
But he pretends that he didn't understand the question and then tries to answer something else.
And in case you're not
Oh,
familiar
no,
with
it's over.
programming, a commenter summed up Thor's flawed approach perfectly, stating, he is literally doing the equivalent of writing 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 instead of writing 2 times 25. But that was just the tip of the iceberg, because while someone might argue that he simply misunderstood the criticism instead of purposefully
I don't get
deflecting
that.
it, that doesn't explain why he kept doing the same thing over and over again.
SpriteSpark is not a magic number. It's a direct reference to an asset file called SpriteSpark. This is how GameMaker allows you to link sprites and other assets. When you want to use a sprite, sound, or other object, you call it by name.
This is disingenuous at best and an obfuscation tactic at worst, because as you can see here, there's a lot of numbers here. It's very obvious when I'm talking about a magic number. I'm talking about things like 1, 0, 15, 270, 360. I'm not talking about what my mouse just happens to be highlighting, which is SPR Spark.
Almost as if it's a core part of the tactic he uses to sound more knowledgeable than he actually is.
He has this repeating theme where somebody gives him a question and then he pivots to something that somebody didn't even ask or address to try to get out of that question.
Something
That
that
is
becomes
rough.
abruptly clear
So he's like a
when
politician.
he does address criticism directly and
Literally.
ends up being objectively
Gaming
wrong about
politician.
everything he's saying.
Data types are not defined in GameMaker. You cannot define a Boolean. You can use 0, 1, or true, false at will. It doesn't do anything. None of this matters in this language.
The Boolean and the data types.
Okay.
So I'd like to interpret this in two ways, because what he could have been saying here when he says data types are not defined is that you can't create your own custom data types, which is indeed wrong. You can create structures
Oh no.
in GameMaker. It's in the documentation.
You know what I kind of feel like with this guy?
He needs to get in the bin.
Yeah, but like, yeah. First of all, yeah. I feel like he's maybe studied the theory on things. So because he understands like how it should work. He thinks he can maybe, like, I don't know this obviously, but maybe he thinks because he understands how it should work and he can talk a bit confidently about it, most people probably wouldn't question this. So
Oh,
maybe this is
yeah.
why now he's backed into the corner. It's almost like, you just don't know what I know. You're not as smart as me.
Yeah.
It's not looking good. But I'm enjoying finding out more about people like this. So it'd be cool to do more of it anyway.
referring to Booleans, which also just isn't true.
What's worse is that he could have easily avoided looking like
His
a fool.
faces,
All he
man.
had to do was actually read about the programming language he claims to be an expert at.
He makes the claim that you can't define a Boolean in GameMaker because GameMaker itself doesn't have a native Boolean type in its scripting language. In other words, it interprets reals as Booleans. Now, to reconcile the fact that he used a Boolean in his
We
code
watch reals.
with what he said, I decided to do what any developer would do, and that
Absolutely
is I
not.
consulted the documentation. So if you go to data
Oh,
types
just
in
me then.
GameMaker,
Just
look
you.
at that. You are also provided with
I'm all right with
constants,
that.
true and false, which can always be used in your code to prevent any issues. Should the native Boolean type be defined later?
This can either be interpreted as Thor being incredibly lazy or just simply not knowing Booleans exist in the language he's using. Either way, it calls into question every claim
This
Thor
is
has.
what I'm saying. I feel like he understands the theory so well that he feels he can bluff his way through it. But there are
Yeah.
like these little subcontext things he doesn't, or like unless you're doing it, you wouldn't know, which is kind of stupid. But at the same time, maybe he does have some sort of background in this, and maybe he is very good at what he claims to be good at. He's just not good about things that maybe he could just be rage baiting. No, this guy could actually be an absolute genius, wizard, magic universe hero, but we just wouldn't understand. Like
He's just
he
a
could be the best
misunderstood
character.
genius.
Yeah, he may be like the best genius since Andrew Tate. Like we don't know these things.
As a comment on YouTube eloquently puts it, someone please take the shovel away from Pirate Software. This man won't stop digging a hole for himself. But what's most
That's what we just said.
concerning is Thor's
Literally.
inability to take any kind of criticism, even when it's valid. He's set up a wall of denial in front of him and just disregards anyone that doesn't agree with him. That said, this next issue isn't something
I
he
love
can
these
simply
faces.
ignore, since he might even end up in court because of it. The bombshell dropped on July 5th, 2025, when a Twitter user
Serious.
by the name of Guy made a wild accusation against Thor, stating, Pirate Software accidentally revealed his DMs with Kronos during the April 1st Twitch Giga Train, showing that they were boosting it to themselves. This is why the stream is
Oh,
unavailable to
no.
watch. The Giga Giga Train he's talking about here is actually the record-breaking Twitch hype train Thor was able to reach on April 1st, 2024. A hype train, for those who don't know, is a Twitch feature that gets activated when a streamer starts receiving a lot of donations or gifted subs in a very short span of time, to then continues leveling up if the donations keep coming in, and the more a hype train progresses, the more rewards the donors unlock, including special emojis and gifts that they can use, incentivizing them to keep spending their money. As we mentioned
you say that,
earlier,
it really does, because you'll see people that used to be on like 5, 10, 15 viewers, and they were the coolest people. The second it gets like partner, which is what, 75 consecutive viewers, I think. But the second it gets that, like, they literally act as if they're God and they know everything. It's like, bro, like, you still don't earn enough to have like a living or anything. Like, you're effectively a beggar with extra steps to a lot of degree, because you rely on everyone's money to live, aren't you? And this guy was at 80,000 subscribers, like paid subs. I don't think he needs the money. It's just greed at that point, isn't it?
It is. It's criminal.
It is.
already broken multiple hype train records before.
Literally criminal.
However, all of them paled in comparison to the hype train on April 1st, 2024, as it managed to reach past level 105. This was a big milestone in Thor's career. It made
54,000
headlines
gifted
and
subs.
turned Thor
That's
into an even
$5
bigger
each.
name in
Wait,
the
so this
online
guy was
gaming
actually like relevant?
Apparently, yeah.
How have I never heard of this guy?
A gifted sub is. We could probably work out how much he made. So I think a gifted sub is $4.99. How many subs did it say he had? 54,380. So total for that was 271,356. I'm sure it's 70/30 on Twitch, which means he would have made from that alone $189,000. 189,000. That's not even including the 8 million bits as well. Like, he's making serious money. So he was relevant. It makes this a little bit sad, actually, but kind of funny. Your face.
And I can't even get over 100 views on a video.
Yeah. Just be a scumbag.
After this rate, mate.
This was a big milestone in Thor's career. It made headlines and turned Thor into an even bigger name in the online gaming community. However, if
The fact it says smashed again means he's done that before. It says smashed again by Pirate Software in the headline, so he's done similar before. And if he broke it again, that means he's done it before. So this is 4 or 5 times that he's beaten this thing, and it's... This guy's a multi-millionaire of people donating to him.
Off streaming as well. And I'm here spending hours on one video.
Making gold.
And it's getting under 100 views. I can't be bothered.
It was true. It meant that this record wasn't as legitimate as it seemed. And the proof he presented was in the screenshot of the conversation Thor had with his head mod Kronos while his hype train was active. Right, let me know if you do. Bits is going to be the best way to do it due to the return if you need to save it. Bits rather than tier 3 subs. Tier 3 subs might be better, don't know. Bits is 82% return when you buy them in bulk. Have you bought any yet? I've done 100 tier 1 subs on my personal, ready to do 40 tier 3 subs on an alt. Can do bits instead or both. Did 50,000 bits at 20 seconds left. Okay, what is the alt account? Serendipitous Bean. Put simply, this seemed like Thor telling his own mod to donate from an alt account to artificially keep the hype train going, and even telling him to use bits since Twitch would only take an 18% cut from them. Now, it was still possible that some important missing context could give this conversation a completely different meaning. Unfortunately for Thor, someone uncovered the deleted Twitch VOD this screenshot was taken from, and Thor's reaction to it told his viewers everything they needed to know.
I wished I could place my head between them and go full burr mode and make...
What?
What an idiot.
What is this? Where is it? I'm gonna find this. I need to find your message.
You tried it, mate.
God damn it, click. Click, you garbage machine. What?
Surely he knows when you get that big.
Who
That's
are
being
you?
screenshotted immediately.
Literally.
Why are you like this? Number 420. Deleted.
Not only does it prove that the screenshot is real, viewers could also see how panicked Thor became when he saw it, and how he immediately switched to a different chat before actually
So he's already making bags and he's still doing that.
Yeah, he's effectively subbing to himself, isn't he? He's telling his mods to do, he's obviously giving them the money and telling them to do it on an alt account. Because his mods aren't going to have like 15, 20, 30 grand through him, are they?
The text-to-speech donation that came in, Thor tried to deny any wrongdoing on Twitter, stating, Kronos used his own money to do this and asked if it was okay to do so. He wasn't paid for this or told to do it either. He's a grown man and can spend his money in whatever way he chooses. You can hate me
Sorry,
all
no
you
grown man
like,
will be doing
but
that.
going after my staff is shit
Literally.
tier behavior. Even Kronos, his head moderator, came out with statements of his own denying the allegations, reading, said this before in January during the World of Warcraft drama. People contacted me and others about donating during the Hype Train record in 2024. This year, I did less from the main and I did some from an alt. Removal of the VOD was, if I recall correctly, to prevent people from harassing donators as before. And while these explanations from both Thor
so
and Kronos
stupid.
were still a bit suspicious, they were enough to end the controversy before it got any worse. Or at least, that's likely what they thought
Keep it
would
going.
happen. But on July 20th, 2025, someone
This is
replied to
recent,
Guy's
recent.
original Twitter post
What
with
the
yet
hell?
another screenshot. This one showing the exact messages attached to the
2
donation
months-
Kronos
less than 2
made with
months
his
ago.
alt account, Serendipitous Bean. It reads, in real life friend of Kronos and excited that they are now free from corporate. Love your stream and what you do for people here. There aren't many cool or supportive streamers left once they get big like this. Stay cool, bud,
Oh,
and tell
dear.
Kronos that Ben sends their regards. In other words, Kronos pretended to be his own friend, likely to avoid any suspicions from chat. However, what made
Yeah,
this
but
truly
it just
weird
proves
was
that
the
these
fake
people have no
reaction Thor
friends.
had when this donation came in.
Serendipitous Bean with 50,000 bits said IRL friend of Kronos and excited that they are now free from corporate.
I know.
Love your stream and what you do for people.
No.
There aren't many cool or
I know.
supportive streamers left once they get big like this.
What
Stay
an
cool,
idiot,
bud,
man.
and tell Kronos that Ben sends their regard.
I'm sorry you had to know
Petavan-
Kronos.
What is he
in real life,
wearing
just-
as well? This is annoying me.
Banana
It doesn't
suit,
help
isn't
him
it, I
look any better, does it?
He is a big banana, so it makes sense.
500 bits.
Now, it's possible Kronos just wanted to hide his own identity to not receive hate for donating so much. However, that just
I just
explains the
double-chin, mate.
pretending to be his own friend part. It does not explain the shameless glazing that followed. Even if we ignore the actual
no.
message and
Oh,
just
dear.
focus on the donation, it's still highly problematic. Not only did it manipulate the viewers into donating more by keeping the hype train alive,
Yeah, massively.
as Legal Mindset put it in his video, it could even bring some serious consequences for Thor, starting from
Oh.
Twitch itself.
So Kronos is the main
Oh.
moderator. And excited that they are free from corporate. Love your stream and what you do for the people here. There aren't many cooler supportive streamers left once they get big like this.
It annoys when they
Kronos
speed
and Ben
up.
sends their regards. So this person is clearly
Yeah,
painting
it is,
themselves
yeah.
as not Kronos, not the moderator, but a separate IRL
Yeah,
friend of this moderator, which is extremely deceptive if you ask me.
Serendipitous Bean with 50,000 bits
Yeah, it
said
is.
IRL friend of Kronos and excited that they are now free from corporate.
I know.
Love your stream and what you do for people here. There aren't many cool or supportive streamers left once they get big like this. Stay cool, bud, and tell Kronos that Ben sends their regards.
I'm sorry you had to know Kronos in real life,
with
just like me.
500 bits said when is Yarn pregnant and going to be real.
Dude, this guy can't be real. This guy actually can't be real.
Thor has openly claimed plenty of times that he
This is
hires and
insane.
actually pays all his mods.
I pay our moderators full time. Not only do they have full time pay, they're on salary, they also get full time benefits too. Medical,
They're on
dental,
benefits.
vision, everything.
Yeah,
that's-
sounds like it.
How this place stays cool.
So it wouldn't be difficult
Oh,
for
this
Thor
place
to
stays cool.
reimburse
I pay
Kronos
people to
as
hang
part
out
of
with
his
me.
monthly paycheck. Only now, it could get him suspended or even kicked off Twitch entirely. But that isn't even the worst of it. According to Legal
he's
Mindset,
violated
this
so
also
many
opens Thor and his mod
DOTs.
up to facing legal
Yeah, this guy sounds like he needs
repercussions
to
from
just
the
get in the
federal
bin at this
government
point.
as well.
So you need representation, omission, or practice that is likely to mislead a customer. So the practice would be, hey, donating bits from the sock puppet account. The consumer's interpretation.
Oh,
is
it's- yeah, it's
reasonable.
actually a
So
crime,
the
crime, isn't
consumer
it?
is thinking this is a private party. This is
Oh,
somebody else. This
no.
is not the mod. This is not pirate software. They're thinking, oh, look, this person is extending the hype train. And so because of that, because that misleading representation, that materially led others to
Oh,
donate
that's
more to
bad.
keep it going. It's a very well-known thing in scams and cons. This is something that confidence men
Oh.
do. They get fake buyers to go out there and gin up interest so that people will buy stuff even though it's overpriced.
And if that wasn't enough, Thor
It's
and
over.
Twitch could also get trouble on a state
It's
level
not,
as
mate.
well, based on Thor falsely advertising the success of his hype train.
So consumer
State
legal
and
remedies act. California has
federal.
that. And I mentioned California, by the way, because that's where
no.
Twitch is. So it'd be very reasonable if a California donor, if a California whale brought a claim against a California corporation in a California court against, Twitch and against, Mr. Pirate Software. But beyond that, there's California Business Code 17500, which leads to false or misleading statements or false or misleading advertising. And this could be
Alright,
perceived
this
as
is really off
falsely
topic.
advertising that you're number one on
But scroll back a little bit so you can see the next to 17500. Is that not the same symbol they were using for the money on The Sims?
Is it?
Is that the Somalian symbol?
I don't
I'm not
even
sure
know.
if it is or not, but like, it just looks familiar.
And this could be perceived as falsely advertising that you're number one on the hype train, that you're this hype train leader, that you're this person that needs to be donated to keep this thing going to breach all these levels, when really most of those levels, or maybe a lot of those levels, some of those levels, were just artificially inflated by either Pirate Software's mod or these sock puppet accounts. I mean, who knows? We don't really have a full track on that yet.
But
I
even
mean,
if
you used to be a streamer. Did you
I
ever
used to be
used to
quite a good
do
streamer.
these practices, man?
No, absolutely not. I mean, no, I'm not going to. I'm not saying I mean as in like, yeah, I used to do this all the time. No, like when you're like the head of the community, you do generally get people sucking up to you, and they will generally spend more on you. In all fairness, my community don't. They spend more on each other than they ever did me because I'm doing fine anyway, which is really, really good. But you do get a lot of people exploit people for clout or whatever. Like I said, especially the partnered streamers who are like, oh my god, streaming's my full-time job. So yeah, it's because your community's paying for you. Like you are basically a street performer, but in your bedroom. Like during lockdown, I really enjoyed streaming.
What happened?
You realise how toxic it is in all on like it's rich coming from me, I know.
Very rich.
Yeah, you understand how toxic it is because it's the most fake thing on the planet, first of all. And I say that with the greatest disrespect to a lot of streamers. But yeah, not only is it extremely toxic in a lot of ways, it's also like you forget there's a real world outside. Like you're stuck in this internet beef. Like the amount of dramas I had on streaming in like a 2-year period, just for being honest and real with people, was quite big, to be honest. But yeah, I just don't think anybody should look at streaming as a viable like do it as a hobby, fine. Just don't be a knob. I think I think that's the best way to describe it. Especially don't do this and don't do the crypto coin stuff. None of these scams. Just stay in your own lane. Play games, chat with friends, go offline, go live outside. That's what I suggest.
But what was the biggest reason why you stopped streaming?
A lot of things, to be honest. I mean, the biggest is, like I said, it's a consistent online drama. The amount of people that will sit behind their keyboard and threaten, like, I'm going to find where you work and phone them. It's like, you're gay. Like, nobody likes you. Another one's time. Like, if you don't turn up, you lose all your viewership immediately. No breaks, not allowed time off. And I like going outside. I'm not going to sit inside all the time. I just don't like gaming anymore, to be honest. Like, we play games every now and again, but like, that's fun now.
Yeah.
It was really hard to try and get people together to do things. And obviously when COVID finished, everyone just lost interest anyway. Like, streaming's only become big again now with like the in real life people. You got your Hassans, your Speed. Asmongold's that his name? Oh, what's the other guy? Kai Cenat. But yeah, no, apart from that, like, it's just a time thing. I'd rather be doing 1,000,001 other things in the real world.
he manages to escape any direct repercussions, these controversies have only accelerated his downfall, with the number of people unsubscribing from his YouTube channel each month jumping from 100,000 plus when the Stop Killing Games controversy happened to over 200,000 after these new controversies came to light. It truly seems like Thor's reputation has reached a point where even if he apologizes now or tries to take accountability, it's pretty unlikely that he'll ever regain the audience he once had. But just when we thought he couldn't sink further, he somehow found a way. As I was making this video, Quinthea dropped another bombshell by interviewing Mr. Jason Thor Hall's ex-roommate, as well as the person who was in charge of his quality assurance work at Blizzard.
Hi, my name's Cynthia Hall. I go by Ludiana online. I'm a lifelong artisan cosplayer. I worked for 5 years at Blizzard and then 8 years at Twitch. And I happen to work with Pirate Software at Blizzard as his wrangler on Diablo 3.
And what she had to say about Thor was shocking, but not all surprising at this point. According to Cynthia, Jason was straight up bad at his job. He would constantly slack off and browse Reddit all day, and even when he did work, Cynthia often had to come in and correct his mistakes.
Oh my god.
All the spawns in the game, all the boss testing, having to do all the smoke tests whenever.
Not did he get corrected, he got corrected by a woman.
What do you mean by that?
Joking, I'm sure women are good at coding and things. In fact, they're probably better at it because their attention to detail's better.
Like that's just testing the builds. Whatever the task was for the day, it could just be spawning different monsters and testing. But he would just kind of create a character and idle in the client and redirect it. That's literally what he did. He sat in front of me, and I was assigning the tasks. So not only did I see the work he was not doing, I saw what he was doing instead.
Worst of all, when Cynthia complained about his behavior to the higher-ups, nothing happened. Simply because Thor's father was also quite high up in the company. The same father, mind you, whose birthday is not even an afterthought for Thor these days.
Birthday and you missed it? You didn't call me? Neither did your brother? You guys both ignored me for my birthday?
That isn't true.
Look at his face.
I sent you a text.
Look at his face. Like, his dad's getting, like, a bit emotional. And he's like, He's being a right knob about it. He needs to slap this guy. If YouTube boxing still exists.
So he just ignored his dad on his birthday.
Of all the things, like me and my dad don't have the world's best relationship. I will never miss his birthday. Never miss him and my mum's anniversary. Never in a million years do you do that. What a knobhead. I hate this guy even more now.
I sent
That
you a
is
text.
No, you did not.
Oh.
That was last.
So he didn't even do that.
Like, the guy's a straight up narcissist. Absolute awful human being.
Last year.
Bullshit.
I got nothing. You sent me one last year.
Did I send you
wow.
my shitty son? Oh man.
He's laughing
It
about
was
this.
Wow.
But that's only the tip of the iceberg. His
This guy's
memorable
jarring,
moments at
man.
the company also included him yelling at his
These photos are killing me, man.
The photos make it so much better, but he is such a bell.
workers for not playing like elite gamers for a charity event.
I was on his team for a league tournament, and he screamed at our team for apparently not gearing correctly to counter the other team, because we were just that bad when it's not like
Is
we're
this
losing
guy
so
alright,
severely,
man?
because we all played league regularly.
No.
It was not that big of a deal, and we're
This
all
is why
slept
people
deprived.
should put
It
down
was
video
very
games and
early
go
in the
outside.
morning after an overnight of playing games, and we're like, seriously, dude, you are raging at everybody, like our entire team. He was just yelling across the floor at everybody.
It's a charity event.
So this guy pretty much
It was a
deserves
children's
everything that's
charity
coming to
But
him.
all of that pales in
He
comparison
did this
to
in
what he was like
charity
as a
event.
roommate.
What's worse is we're not going to hear what he was like as a roommate, and I just don't know how I feel about this. Who let this guy into their house?
All the dishes everywhere, like the pans, still food in them on the stove, shit everywhere, food, countertops, everything.
Are there any
everywhere.
redeeming
Like,
qualities
it was not
here?
disgusting, Sty, but it was very just a fucking mess.
Worst of all, when he eventually
She was his
did leave
roommate as well. She's the most unlucky human being on the planet.
Cynthia's apartment, what
He's
she
just a
found in
dude,
his
isn't he?
room was nothing short
Still
of
up there.
disgusting.
I wish I had saved pictures of the state of his room. He had cleaned nothing, so
no.
I had to clean everything by hand. There was like, I don't know what on the walls.
It's like my brother.
And you're just gonna have to like take my word for this. I don't know if it was snot or something else, just like white here and there on the walls, and more of the,
White?
like random
What?
gray stuff, just spots and things.
Now,
Just all over
these
the
stories
That is definitely where my mind went when I
He had to clean up his jizz, man. This is.
this man straight up had morning wood and shot his sap all over the walls.
He looks like the kind of guy that would do that as well. Look at him, man.
He does. He looks like the kind of guy that would like use it as a moisturizer. He loves himself that much.
are from
Everyone's like,
years
"You should
ago.
F yourself, man." I do
Unfortunately,
every
from
night.
What we've seen of his game's progress, he still hasn't outgrown his slacking habits. It just makes you wonder how much more
I hate
negative
this
stuff
guy.
about Thor will come out before the internet just moves on.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I don't like pirate software. I don't think Carlo likes pirate software. You guys shouldn't
Absolutely
like
not.
pirate software. And as always, we'll see you.
In the next one.
Bipolar Rex, you are dealing with the best. You just gotta stay tuned, never know what's next. Videos steady keeping them coming. Games like COD and Among Us, keep it super entertaining and funny. You should know that he's always into something.